Hey, welcome to another typology interview. We have Brandi. That's not your real name, but we'll just call you Brandi for the interview.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Um, so you had an interesting story that you told me a while back, and I think it's important to talk about it a little bit. So you were typed twice. Well, let's start like, what's your history in typology? That's probably a better place.
Okay, so well, like in the very beginning, I first took the test in college, and I got INFJ. I kind of like freaked out a little bit, and I was like upset about it because I wanted to go into something more um, like logical, I guess. So I was thinking like, oh, maybe that wouldn't work then, or that's not like the right thing for
Oh,
me.
like you were using type to judge where you would go in a career sort of thing, or
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
and then I don't know. I guess I just sort of like kept looking at it or looking into it a little bit, and then I eventually ran into Dave's channel, and I got typed by Dave over the phone, kind of
Right.
typed, like not fully typed, but like he said that like maybe IJ, and he had said sleep, consume, play, blast, and that's what he was like more confident about. And then I got typed again later in video with a different name, and then I got ESFP, and it was uh, consume, play, sleep, blast.
Did you use the same account to get typed, or you changed your account or something?
Yeah, because I left and then I had left for a while and then I came back.
Oh, I got you. Okay, cool. Um, so like, so what do you identify with as now? Like the IJ or the EEP or
I think like EP fits a little better,
right?
but I was not sure at first just because like other people sort of like in my life were sort of like saying IJ, and then when Dave said IJ, I was like, okay, so then maybe it is that. But then on the
Right,
video, it was EP, and that makes like sense too.
right. So yeah, the other thing is you told me you finished a master's already in mathematics?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so that's interesting to me too. Like, so you're like you're an SF. They gave you ESFP, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then, like, do you feel like math is more of a thinking thing, or for you, or how do you? Because like everybody thinks, obviously, everybody can do math,
Yeah.
obviously, but like, why did you love it? What got you into that?
Yeah, like I think just the amount of things, or like the amount of different fields sort of within math is just like interesting to me. So I feel like, and I like the overlap too, like when two fields come together. I really
Mhm.
like that. I don't know. I see the beauty in it, and I like it.
And have you always been good at math, or is it something you're working at, or
um, like growing up, I like just with basic math, I don't really think I was ever that bad. Like I didn't struggle with it, like,
right?
but it's not really like the same math that I would say like now, like.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So, what do you think about this process? Like, what did you learn about typology and OP based on this process, based on getting typed one way and then getting typed a different way? Did you lose trust in typology?
Not really. I think like I was always a little skeptical of
Right.
the way that it's done, I guess, because I don't know if you can really know someone after, like 20 minutes or whatever. I mean, you can know a little bit, but I don't know if you can like really understand where they're coming from, or like see their whole entire like personality in that.
Hmm.
If you're trying to type them like all the way to, that specific. But yeah, I think like, I guess I always like wasn't sure if that would work. So that's like, I'm not like against type or something. Like I do think type exists and you'll pretty much stay within a certain range of your type for like probably your whole life. But yeah, just like maybe the ways that to go about it of typing people.
Well, I think your case is a really important case because like Dave and Chen never claimed to say that they're going to get your type completely right. They never claimed to say that, you know, they're infallible. It's really people putting them on a passive pedestal that's doing that. And
Yeah.
it's important, like the kind of thing that happened to you, it's important that people are aware that this kind of thing can happen. And I do really think that, you know, if you're going to use type for personal growth, then you're using it as like a map of what you need to work on and to get better. And if you're, I guess like, okay, so they put you as IJ. And so if you're really EP and they put you as an IJ, then you should have been working on more variety and more new. And doing that could be kind of against personal growth for someone who's an EP. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's important that people still stay kind of skeptical about their type and try to confirm it on their own. And this kind of case is important for people to be aware of, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really want to thank you for coming forward and talking about it. Do you want to talk about your functions a little bit, about how you see your functions?
Okay. So with SE.
Yeah. We don't have to. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess like sometimes I feel like I'm not always 100% sure about I guess like the definitions kind of because or like even like what is cognition, you know, like what makes something, you know, like okay, that makes you this, you know, like you're using this cognitive process versus just you're doing this thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
oh, you're doing
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that, but then yeah.
Right. But you do see yourself as doing SE as a cognitive process? Like that's something that you're basically swimming in?
So I guess I think so because like I do see myself like well, I mean, I have to like be well, I feel like I have to be like gathering in a lot of information in what I do. Like I'll be like learning and reading all day about map. So it's like sort of like that SE
Right.
gathering in.
You got consume play or consume sleep?
Consume play.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a lot. That's double activated even. And it's feminine SE then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of people who are talking about feminine SE find it hard to see the SE as well, because it's feminine and because there's not a lot of retention on what goes on with when they're using the SE.
Mm.
So I wonder if you identify with that maybe you forget a lot of what goes on with the SE.
If I forget it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I write stuff down.
Do you? Oh yeah. Yeah. Another guy was saying he does sticky notes and lists and write stuff down. Yeah, with feminine SE as a savior even. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got some questions here. What do you mean by overlaps in math?
Yeah. So like, for example, like algebra, that seems like something that is maybe a lot different from something like topology, which is very like geometric.
Yeah.
But there is like, or even number theory that is like more algebraic, and there's a lot more, like, it just seems more algebraic in those fields. But there's a lot of overlap there and a lot of problems. You can use one, like techniques from one to solve the other. So it's like a lot of overlap there.
Yeah. Do you value something about typology? What do you personally value about it?
I mean, I really like the self-growth aspect of it and just like understanding yourself better and being able to, I think like for me anyways, like I use it to understand myself better, but then also to like sort of see how it feels from another person's perspective, because it's easy to get like sort of annoyed when someone does something that you don't think like that doesn't make sense to you or whatever. But then, if you see it from their side, it's like, well, for some reason they need, this amount of validation or whatever it is. So it's like that's just the way they are, and try not to be so upset if they sort of like overstep or do something you didn't like.
Right. Can you tell me a little bit about your FI? Are you aware of all of your priorities? What's important to you?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I am. Yeah.
Um, it is it a masculine FI? Like, is that what's going on? Because
Yeah.
yeah. So do you see it as you being very dedicated once you like something? I guess once you started loving math, you can't go back, or
Um. Uh. Not necessarily that I can't go back. I feel like in a way I never want to be 100% like attached to something. Like in terms of like I
right?
don't want to have an image of myself as, oh, I'm a mathematician and that's what I am now. Like, and then only have that. So I almost feel like I try to not see it that way. But then yeah, I guess it kind of will just always be there or whatever.
Mhm. Yeah. Is your so your blast is demon? Is your blast last then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that was consistent with both types.
Yeah. No, I'm seeing that too. Yeah. Um. So someone named Dallas, I had him on the channel. I was talking to him, I think this morning, and he was talking about James Clear's book about your identity and how I guess he has a feminine identity, and so he was saying how the James Clear was saying that when you choose your identity, don't choose a specific identity. And the example that Dallas gave was about a musician, like a guitar player. So if
Mm-hmm.
someone's saying, I'm a guitar player, I'm a guitar player, and then he loses his hand, then he's going to have a crisis. Like it's just like
Right.
an analogy, right? He's going to have it. So I'm wondering about your FI and about when you choose an identity, do you identify with what James Clear is saying a little bit, like with math, like kind of what you're saying about math?
Yeah, I suppose. So like if I were to like lose my mind or something, then that would be everything. But
Right. Yeah.
yeah, but then also like um just like also like in a way, if you're so stuck to one thing, you're not like leaving room for other people like in your life or other things like to
Hmm.
that like if you are so stuck on like this one and then what if another like opportunity came up, sort of like I think that SE of like
Yeah, yeah, looking for the opportunities. Yeah,
yeah.
in the moment. Yeah. Do you have an example of an opportunity that maybe came up that?
um, well, not yet.
Not yet. Good. Awesome. So this is the person who asked about what you mean by overlaps. So is the overlap in the way you use it more? Is that how you see it?
um, so um, kind of, yeah, I guess. So it'd be like, but yeah, it'd be like if you're trying to prove one thing in a certain field, but instead of doing like or instead, like if you can't find a proof, like you might have to get creative and learn other fields or try to make it like some other thing.
Right.
So yeah, you'd have to, like you can use other, um, yeah, like other types of math that's in other places.
Cool. Yeah, really good. Is there Do you feel like you're using your TE a lot as well for math? Like, do you feel like you're very collaborative? Do you think with other people? Are you looking for stuff that's working? Stuff like that?
I definitely am not collaborative. I prefer
Okay.
to work on my own, uh, and that's sometimes kind of like isn't isn't always like the best thing. But yeah, I kind of prefer to work alone. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. Like for TE, I feel like I can't necessarily see it that well for some reason.
Interesting.
But I don't see like I know I feel like I do have FI, but I just for some reason can't see like the TE.
It's yeah, it's feminine TE too.
Yeah.
And the masculine and I at the bottom, do you feel like the narrowing down is really hard to do?
Um
Like it's a void in your life?
yeah, like for example, when I was deciding what like sort of career I wanted to go on, like when I first started college, or when I first knew I wanted to be in math, I was sort of thinking about like either a PhD path or like a path in like insurance stuff. And that like took me a while to decide on to like just like fully go for the PhD path.
Mhm. Um, so that, like, I guess maybe that was more your FI going into the picture than, I guess, most
Maybe,
of the other.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I felt like I had to sort of think about like, do I want kids? Like, how is that going to fit in? Because the PhD takes so long, and like, it obviously isn't going to be financially as rewarding as anything would be in like insurance. But then it's
Mhm.
like, do I want to sell my soul? Do I want to go down the other path? I don't know. It took me a while to decide that. So yeah, I guess that would be more of a decider thing.
Right. What about in terms of SF? Do you identify with SF a little bit?
Um, so like, what do you mean?
Um, I don't know, stereotypes about SF, like about popularity, what's, I guess, what you like. Um, it's a little bit materialistic in a way. Like, do you identify with that kind of thing?
Um, I I don't know. I guess I don't
Right.
like see myself as materialistic. I've always sort of
Yeah, yeah.
been annoyed with people that are materialistic,
Yep.
but yeah, I don't like necessarily see that
I mean, those are
part.
stereotypes, obviously. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah. Do you see your sleep at all in your life? Is that something that you're conscious of as well?
Um, I mean, I like to sleep. I
Right.
I feel like I need to process things. Like I'll need time to process. Like anytime I go out or anything, I'll feel like I'll need to process it like after. But um, I don't know.
Yeah. Um, d- do you feel do you feel like do you feel like that's an important thing for you to do to transition between periods of your life? Like you needed to process, I don't know, your trajectory.
Yeah, I think I will. Like when I feel like there's a lot going on, I'll feel like I need to like see like because otherwise I just feel like I'm like running around in circles and there's like no point in doing anything.
Hmm.
Like I just need to stop and see what it like what am I even doing? Like what is it that I'm trying to like get at, like just
Yeah.
slow down.
Okay. Yeah. Really cool, Ashley. Do you have anything maybe to say more about yourself or what you went through to get to your type in the end?
Not really.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, not many other questions here. But anyways, I really appreciate you coming forward and sharing your story, because I do really think it's important that people understand that it's their responsibility to figure out their type, and type practitioners are there to maybe tell you what they're seeing, but yeah.
Yeah.
We have a question, another one from Fly on the Wall. Did you see it as a discrete path for deciding what you wanted to do, or could you also see where they could overlap and cross over each other? I don't know if I understand the question.
Yeah, I don't know if I do either. Did you see it as a discrete? Not sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have also. Thanks for sharing as well.
What?
I have no idea.
What is this?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's Queen's Gambit, and he changed his name. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much, Brandi. I'm gonna sign off now. Thanks everyone for watching.